Well, it didn't always used to look like this. You used to be able to see the radio stations a lot more than a drywalled wall. This is the location of 101 WKQX and 97.9 The Loop. Now, when I started here in 2001, it was only one station. It was a little bit different. But it looked kind of the same, but nothing like this. Let's walk through, shall we? As we come in to what will be here no longer for, about 2-3 more days. This was our phone screening room. It was for 101 along with the Loop. I think right before the end, Mancow was using this, but a lot of our phone screeners when I was here, we would do it from there. The first studio for 101 when I started in 2001 hailed out of this studio, which is now a shell of what it used to be. But in 2001, this was the first studio. Actually, I was one of the first ones to be in here because in 2001 they moved 101 from the 17th floor to here. So when I came in here, this place had the total new car smell. It was brand new. There was no stains, no dust anywhere. It was crazy. So to see it go through its full fruition, I guess is kind of fitting. I'm glad I was able to be here back again. Because I was away for a little while, so it was nice to be back again. I'm glad I was able to, I guess, see the end of it too at the same time. But yeah, this used to be 101's studio, and then the Loop came in and they built this all out. This was, there's more studios down the other way that never used to be here, and then they kind of switched things out. So then this became the Loop, and then 101 was on the other side. But this is where I started. I used to look at that clock that's not up there anymore. I used to look at that clock all the time, so it's kind of cool to be in here. I wish it could be here all the time, but you know, that's life. Things move on. We came down here. These studios were here. This was a production room. There was a guy named Brian Rhodes. He used to work out of there. And this was also another production room at the time. They kind of swapped it into a couple of things. It was kind of a hybrid room. I think they turned it into a newsroom for a while for Brandmeier, and some other people were in there too. But I think right at its end of its life was just kind of a production room. This used to be actually our jock lounge. This used to be where all of the people on the air would come in and prepare for their show. There used to be lockers. Sludge was in here. I remember Sludge, because my locker was right below Sludge's. So Sludge's locker was in here. There was these cubicles, and none of the studio was even in here. This was all after the fact. It's when the Loop was acquired by the radio station, so they built all these studios out. So then they made this one here, and this became a imaging station for a guy named Kevin Howard, who's at Sirius XM now in Washington, D.C. This room was always here. Patrick Berger, who is an angel. An angel. This studio, Vinny's studio. Why have you not left? You're like the only one left on the ship. You're going down with it.
Last man standing.
You're the last one. This was
sitting.
This was never a studio. Originally, when I first came in 2001, this was actually a office, and it was Al Roker, Kathy.
Yeah.
I think Turd was in here.
Yeah,
it was. There used to be desks that were around the other way. There was no studio in here at all. It was just a regular office.
Last one working.
Vince is the last one. It's hilarious. They boarded you up.
I know.
There's drywall outside in the place, and
It's
here
at the top of the stairs, and there's no wall. There's no door.
you're left in here alone to sweat. It's not even air conditioned.
I know.
In here. It's hotter than hell.
I'm telling you.
So Vinny's going down with the ship. This is another room that was not a studio. This actually was my late friend Jim Lynam's office. Jim Lynam used to sit right here. There were some desks that were in here. Jim sat in here with another guy too. But then this became the studio that ran the performance studio. The performance studio is down here, but it never was before the Loop was here. I can't find the lights. This used to be a kitchen. There used to be a refrigerator over here. There was a sink, dishwasher, and it was kind of like a green room too. There was these benches that went all the way around, and it was green, hence the green room. So everybody that was here for guests when it was 101, that other name that I won't say, they would all come here to be guests. And then down here, this was actually the Lava Lamp Love Lounge. This was never an on-air studio. After the Loop came in and they merged, this became 101 WKQX. But for, I don't know, 5-6 years, this was just a performance studio. So there was a lot of acts. I remember seeing Dave Matthews performed in here, Stained, Aaron Lewis. I remember playing that song a ton of times. it was all out of this room. And that's why that window is right there, because the mix down room was in that room, which later became a production room for Dan Stone. So that's why all these windows are here. Like, why the hell are these windows here? That's the reason why. But then this was the studio I wound up in. This became 101, and this was, oddly enough, the last studio that I was able to be in this room. I was here when this station began on this floor in 2001, and I was here for the final show in this room. So it was kind of cool just to be a part of the entire life of 101 on the second floor of the Merchandise Mart.